Hello, hello. Different setting for me. How's everyone doing? Those that are currently live and those who will be watching the restream. There's always uh, how can I put it? The leading for me to be able to help musicians, not just in music, but in every aspect of music production. You've watched me since 2006 here on the YouTube platform start off with a very minuscule camera, and with each phase of production, try to upgrade the most economical way possible. Even when I look at some of my earlier videos, I cringe at the raspiness of the actual sound. And in some cases, I'm using a 10 plus year old keyboard. The clackiness of the keys and although the sounds are actually great, but keys, they actually do wear out over time. So, and I always want to be able to give so much information out that I sometimes have to position my thinking. And today is one of those re-pivots where I'm not going to play. Unless, of course, there is a request, and I've got to turn on some lights here. So, my thought was let's help the new musicians that are coming to my channel for the first time or who have been here for a while, help them navigate the most difficult part of what you're going to be doing, and that is acquiring instruments that's going to help grow with you. Therefore, you see my title, Newbie No More. So I've been, again, I watch a lot of other YouTube streamers and how they position when they have conversations, and I've learned some of the tricks that they do as far as sharing screens and being able to provide meaningful content to those who actually view them. So if I forgot to omit who I am, my name is Samuel Tolbert. I am a retired, I'll use the paraphrase, professional church musician because I have served a total of 46 years in the music ministry of not just one denomination but three, and a lot of time in two of them. 25 years in one denomination, which is the Church of God in Christ, 18 months at the Baptist um, denomination, and my remaining 19 years as a music director slash musician for the United Methodist Church. So I got a well-rounded introduction to the types of music that I try to, and I mean really try to instruct in. I'm not a teacher. I've never sat with a formal teacher to show me how to play piano, other than the scale in my high school music room. The teacher showed me the C major scale and how to properly move my fingers, and he says, "But that's not what we're here to learn." But I appreciated just that much, because that helped me to know how important a scale was to be able to play. So you see a lot of my videos start off with playing scales. Let me see. I want to make sure that I'm keeping abreast of comments. Just moving my iPad here. Let's see. The struggle is this in my. Excuse me. Read this correctly. The struggle in this in the church. Okay, I attend. There's three of us playing board, and I'm the youngest and smallest vocabulary. But it is in jazz and gospel, and they turn everything we play into jazz. Yes, yes. Click away. That is a, and that's part of one of the series. I have to go back to because I actually do snippets of R&B quoting that just to basically to draw people to my site for other things. But I am working here on doing a series on the R&B sound and why it is so prominent in younger musicians. There's a reason for it. It's not a bad reason either. Because to me, music, all music is music. It's when you're playing it and when is it appropriate to play it. Let me see. All gospel, and it's killing me. when I try to say not everybody needs to be in those genre. They get in their feelings. Yes, yes. As I say, the music, just like when someone is talking and they have a very, and I'm just bringing my voice down purposely for this. They have a very deep voice. You listen more to a person who's talking in a deep voice than you would to a person who's talking up here. You find that voice very annoying and you wish they would shut up. And I'm like that too. If I hear someone speaking in a very distinct and assertive voice, they have my attention. It's the same way with music. A certain sound gets the attention of a majority of its listeners. That's how important music is. I don't want to miss anyone to see who's joined. Also, I would like to welcome those from my Facebook group, Sound of Joy music group, and also on my Facebook page. If you are watching, I need to activate that page to see who is there. If you want to have conversation with us, you'll have to come to the YouTube channel. I'm just bringing up another page to see how many are that may be there. Okay, I see it is active on my Facebook page. If you are watching, I need to activate that. So we know that that is working also. Who is so there. If you want to have conversation with what I want to be able to do with this YouTube channel, with this stream, is to give musicians an insight to the cost of moving from novice beginner to, and I'll say semi-pro, because the minute you begin to put together 4 or 5 chords in consistency, you move from a newbie, because so many songs have been written with just 3 or 4 chords, and you put a melody with it, and all of a sudden you have a hit in the ears of the listeners. Moving from novice beginner, for your growth, you need to have a because the minute you begin an adequately 4 or 5 comfortable instrument that's going to grow with you, because so many songs have been written with just 3 or 4. Let me see. If I try to tell them it's not going with the flow, I'm the one that don't know music. What should I do? I have no problem answering questions. Again, this is what this kind of conversation is. I love conversation with musicians who are on the latter end of the spectrum, you might say. You're not the top, you're not in the middle, but you're coming up and you're looking up to those who are ahead of you for direction. Don't know music. What should I do? I have no problem answering questions. Again, this may sound a bit, I won't use the word cruel either, but you have to, on the latter end, you have to look within yourself first. You're not in the middle. Understand how you approach music. Now, yes, when you're working with a team of people, I can only relate to when I was a young musician. I wasn't the main musician. I was 17 years old when the very first church allowed me to sit down to a grand piano. Steinway. You have to look with. That's why I love the actual grand piano sound. I spent 9 years on a Steinway piano, but that was 9 years that I wasn't the church organist who had the loudest instrument in the church. So no matter how hard I would play, the loudest instrument always overshadowed the sound of the piano. So when the song began, that was my space, another sense to be heard, but I did not bang on the piano. But that was 9 years that I wasn't the church organist who had the loudest instrument in the church. So no matter how hard I would play, the loudest instrument always. Should be only one microphone projecting my voice. I just turned down another input. Thanks for saying that. I'm actually monitoring myself to make sure that I'm being heard. Sometimes I have turned off the microphone and didn't know it. If you still hear me multiple times, let me know. It stopped. Okay. I had another input that was up that was probably looping what I was saying. So as I say, as a young musician, I wasn't the top. I was skilled. I was able to play any song that was given to me and play with anyone else who was playing, but I wasn't the top of the food chain. In other words, I wasn't the anointed one by leadership to be the lead musician. You're going to have to wait your turn, but while you're waiting your turn, grow musically. And by growing musically, learn every aspect of the music that you are required to play in that ministry. Now, if you have a ministry of, I'll say, senior members who liked hymns, sometimes people like to down the word hymn if though it's something negative. Hymns is where I learned to play drop two chords because I was able to do the melody and then put the harmonies underneath a melody and dropped and playing in the actual drop two chord style became easier for me because I knew where to place the other notes within an actual chord. And because I had a background in jazz band, which is a whole different style of jazz music, I knew how to put fat chords underneath drop two chords. So any song I played, I could sound like a hymn or I could sound like a jazz band, depending upon the 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 actual song that was required to be played. So I didn't at that time. There were no keyboards. My first keyboard I purchased was a Korg M1. Cost me $2,500 and 3 years of payments because I didn't wasn't making that much as a young musician. But that became a way for me to transition away from the standard piano and organ into an emerging world of keyboards. In fact, I have hundreds of early edition keyboard magazines that's going to be doing what I'm doing right now, showcasing every new keyboard that came out and how it's being used so that I wouldn't get too far behind. But for the situation you find yourself in when working with people, understand number one, who you are. And you only can know that by prayer, meditation, and education of yourself. Prayer, and so that you know how to respond to every situation that comes your way in the church and outside. Meditation is where you shut off all the conversation that's negative towards you. And then education, which is kind of what I'm giving you right now. And when you're knowledgeable about yourself and events and things around you, can no one make you feel less than because you have an opinion. Your opinion will always be fact based and not feeling based. Generally, when you are feeling based about anything, people will use that to trigger you to either shoo you away or just to see how you're going to react. And when you're playing music, I've seen musicians play melancholy. What's it? Melancholy, where they're just playing sad chords, and I'm wondering, well, what's wrong? Because they're having a bad day, as they say. And then I see where they're all up for joy and rushing a song through and just, you know, make you question, hey, slow the song down. It doesn't have to be that fast. Playing, that's feeling based. I was always based in um, the actual structure of how I was trained to be an instrumentalist in high school. This is your part. Watch the music as it's going and be prepared when your part comes. So there was never a feeling based when I play. Yes, emotionally, I can hear a chord and then but I couldn't stay on that chord. I had to jump to the next one depending upon the song it was in. But hearing a recording back of anything I played, I go, wow, I nailed that. Look at the timing. Look at how that chord fit and how it transitioned to the next chord. But then I didn't stay there. I moved on to whatever the next project was. But I do like your question. Um, Again, based on my experience, I've been a musician with a group of musicians, and I've been a musician who was the sole musician. I've been there when people wanted to play with me and when they didn't want to play with me, and I felt that when they didn't want to play with me. That is a uncomfortable feeling because you hate to feel that you're in a group and next thing you're playing one chord and they're playing something totally different because they've got a louder instrument. That is just the way life works in interactions with people. Um, Again, I don't want to share anything with you or give you any kind of direction that says you got to do this. Hey, how you doing, Micah? What you have to know is who you are first. That's always important. And don't rate yourself based on the next person. Rate yourself off of facts and education. If that helps, then just let me know. If it doesn't, perhaps we can do something through a Skype session. But I want to see musicians grow within their ministry and become the best version of themselves. And you can only do that for me with prayer, meditation, and education. So the reason we're here is we're going to talk about what's the best keyboards that are currently out there for the musician who is transitioning into this field of music, not just church music, but into this field of music. So I've got some keyboards set up that we can look at. As they say, let's bring up the next stage, product page. Keyboards that are currently out there for the musician. This is the page from sweetwater.com. Now, I have purchased from them in my past. They've gotten my money. So I've got some because they have a very good lineup I forget that we can look at. Keyboards did I get from them? As they say, let's bring up the next. I believe it was the Casio keyboards that are currently out there. Started with a 5. This is the page from Sweetwater. My Casio Privia purchased from them came from Sam Ash. They've got my next Casio, I believe, came from Sweetwater. They have a very good. And I speak to Casio because Casio is still a tremendous keyboard. I have, and I still have them. I have 1, 2. I believe it was the Casio. How many Casios? I know I got the Privia 600 still there. This is the PSR 575. I still have. Purchased from them came from Sam Ash. They've got my next Casio, I believe, came from. The Ensoniq died about 20 years ago. Casio, because I can't throw it out yet. I hate to throw away equipment. Keyboard. I have, and I still have them. I have 1, 2. Was the yeah, that's all I got from Sweetwater. The other ones came from Kraft, which I do have up here, and PSR 575. I still have Sam Ash. Yes, Sam Ash. They've got my next Casio, I believe, came from. The Ensoniq died about 20 years. There it is. Boom. Okay, that should do it. We should be okay now. Thank you. I have to watch the needles as they're popping up on my OBS. So this is the craft page. And when you look at some of these prices for the new musician, you always have to question how much. Let me just get me out of the way. What is a good price and what should I get? I want to increase the size of this page a little bit. I'm not sure if you're seeing the numbers there. That should be good. Let's move me right here for now. So when you look at the varying prices, does it have to be the newest board out there? No. What you and you do want one that's going to grow with you, which means there's an investment that must be done. And the prices can vary from a very basic, well, I wouldn't even call these keyboards I don't know if you can see that. This is a mini keyboard that if you were doing working off your iPad or off your iPhone and you're doing beats, you would maybe go for something. Just slide that over. Go for something like this. So I would never recommend this for a musician learning how to play. I got to keep bouncing myself around these pages. There we go. So as we scroll down, now we get to a whole different set of keyboards. I gotta find a spot for me to sit. How about if I just sit right here, get out of the way. Keyboard controller. If you're gonna go with a controller, and let's go into this one. It says price drop. But you're only going to deal with a controller if you're going to be doing production and you're going to be getting your sounds off your iPad, off your iPhone, or off of a computer where you can become several keyboards. This, I believe, is 88 keys, which is what I always recommend. I believe it should be, yes, it says hammer weighted, which is very important. That's where you get that actual piano feel, which also helps in building muscle memory. This one has a $200 price drop. Let's see what else we got. I like looking at, because I don't go to stores anymore. I basically do all my shopping online. And then I look at reviews by other people to see whether or not they match what I'm looking for. I always check the back to make sure that it has MIDI inputs and not just a MIDI out, USB input, and a power out. This way you know how you're going to get power to it. Go back to the front. This one happens to come with pre-programmed sounds, which is even better. And it should have all of your standard sounds, pianos, organs, synths, and strings. How you doing, Anthony? And we should be able to hear the demo on this, which is why I like doing this. So let's see if we can hear what this sounds like. Thought I lost my microphone. There it is, right there. So that's, and this is the way that I shop right now. Not only do I read what the actual write-ups are, I want to hear and I want to see the actual board that if I were considering to buy in use by, and I'll call them professional musicians. There it is, right there. So that's, and this is the way that I shop right now. I know I got an echo. I just got rid of it. Okay, I believe the echoes are now gone again. So when you're searching for a board, whenever you're shopping for a board, you want to look at all the information, the tech specs, which are important. How many keys? Are they weighted? Does it have aftertouch, pitch bend? Can it be used by software from a computer? All right, I was hearing myself in my headphones talk to me, and that's what I want to hear. Hopefully, you shouldn't be hearing uh, double voices or looping. But yes, trying to give information out. And also, you always want to read comments by users just so that you can be aware. So that's one chord, that's one board as you're looking to upgrade. But 899 might be out of the range of a new musician. Should you go maybe 66 keys? Um, I've got 60, 61 key keyboards, and I find being so uncomfortable playing them. My Korg M1 was a 61 key keyboard, and it was the most uncomfortable keyboard because I was transitioning from the Steinway and the Hammond organ, and I actually broke a key on it trying to play it like a real piano. That's when I knew I had to go get a weighted key keyboard. So I would always recommend that as you're growing, grow with an 88 weighted keyboard. Even if it's just a controller, which will cost a little less, but they will give you sounds on a lot of them now, not just without sounds. Or you can just use a laptop computer or even your iPad or iPhone and import sounds from there from a practice standpoint. Because what you're looking to do is to grow musically. And this is Sweetwater. This is just one location. I have a couple of who that's like we even have Guitar Center also open on some tabs just to show you the different pricing for keyboards and the different features that they have. Here's an 88 key keyboard controller by M Audio. Doesn't look like there's any tones in it. I'm just looking. USB weighted. It's got the weighted keys, pitch wheel, fader, sustain pedal, soft jacks. Okay, so you can run. It'll play like a piano, and you can put an actual expression pedal, so you can play it with software like an organ. Also, let's see what the back of it looks like. Again, I always look at everything online without running out to a store. So I see there are no standardized MIDI outputs, but you have the USB, which is what the world is now going to. Different look at it from a different angle. Nice, clean. Forget the term that you use. Um, Aesthetics, for lack of the correct word. And it looks like you do get a music stand, which is good for holding notes or holding your iPhone or iPad on. And there's your USB cable that goes along with it. As you can see, these are the add-on accessories. Expression pedal if you're going to be doing an organ. Universal power supply if you don't want to plug it into an iPad to run it. Keyboard cases, stands. These are all the add-on things that you would put on to a added expenses for accessories to make the experience of playing on getting moving to a keyboard that much easier. Let's listen to this one. Let's see what this keyboard sounds like. Let me just move that over.
For me as a professor teaching students for years now, I feel that it's very important that beginners, actually students of all levels, have a piano. If they can't have a piano, to have a controller that's 88 keys, weighted. It's like a must. It's very important for the development of their hands to be able to feel and have an experience that's as close to playing a piano as possible. To have a solid controller, I actually feel that 88 keys are very important even in the studio because you need the whole experience the piano also represents. So you really need all ranges fully, and the timing of the notes. This controller here actually is right on it. The hammers are right on it like a piano. In the sense of recording, I can see more benefits to having an 88 weighted keyboard controller than actually a piano. Weighted keys, that's something that's very special. Most of the time when I hook it up, it's something that's very light and there's no weight to it. So
All right, so I'm still hearing that being looped in the background. I'm not sure what that is because I've never tried this before. I'll figure it out though. But it's good to have another's point of view when you're looking to upgrade musically what you're doing. I don't know why I'm still hearing it looped. Just a question: are you still hearing the looped talking? Perhaps I should not wear these headphones. Again, it's just a software world we're in. There's always some type of a delay. So again, looking at the different tech specs, which are important: 88 keys, weighted hammer, which is good, velocity sensitive, which is good, pitch bend, mod wheel, zones. So you can actually split the keyboard into different zones. If you want to have bass, horns, and strings on the same board with 88 keys, you could do that from a production standpoint or a live setting. Works with Mac and with PC. Good. And the iPad, which is important. You can carry your sounds with you. Weighs 38 pounds. That's important. And let me just change my scene here. Any Any weighted keyboard you get will average between 35 and 48 pounds, depending upon how much they have in there. The keyboard that you see behind me, I don't know if you can see it behind me, that weighs about 33 pounds. And I was so happy because I was carrying around a 48-pound Yamaha and it was breaking my back to carry that. When I bought this one, I said, wow, 88 keys weighted, and this one feels good too. I can walk around with it. So I put it in a carry bag, and I can carry 838 pounds a lot better than I was carrying 48 pounds, which is the one you see me play primarily 100% of the time. Are there any questions? All right, let's get back. So we've seen this one. And these are your more standardized keyboard. We haven't seen any of the Casio or the, who's it, Casio. There's another brand. I'll say lower tier brand keyboards, which are still for the beginner musician who's upgrading price wise and quality wise, a very good buy. Let's see, native instruments. These are more controllers. I'm looking more or less for the 88 keyboard ones. That's a controller. And that's just one of maybe, what, 6 pages, I guess. Let me see if I can search for Casio keyboard preview. That's the brand that I would recommend. So if cost is a big um, expense for you, and you want just the piano sound, now these are the more expensive. Again, they've gone up from when I first bought a Casio. Wow, we're the ones that are price friendly. Okay, $6.99 weighted keys. Let's look at this one. So just like the other one we just looked at, this is a Casio version of that one. A little less expensive. They have built-in sounds on the Casio ones and rhythm, which is always a good thing. A metronome and beats. Let's see the connections. So USB and looks like foot pedals, expression pedals. Good profile. These are your accessories that you can get. A good chair is a necessity because you want to feel comfortable when you're sitting. Looks like an expression pedal. Okay, so you can play the organ sounds. A sustain pedal. Carrying case. Okay. You always want to be able to read what are these instruments giving you. See if I can bring this down a little bit. There we go. So that you can read about the actual product itself. You want to have that information. Light and compact. I think we didn't see the weight yet. We'll see that as we go. It's a stage piano, so you can take it with you. Not just playing at home, but you can take it out and use it for performance. So you get 2 headphones. So if you want to have practice with, if you want to teach someone private one-on-one, you have 2 headphone outputs so that you can hear what that person is doing and not be disturbing the people who are around you. Stunning piano sounds with damper and string resonance. 192 polyphony. Oh, that's much bigger than the one I got, which I think is stopped at around 70 back in the days when I purchased it. All right, so we got 88 keys, weighted smart scale, touch sensitive, light, medium, normal, heavy. That's good for learning how to play. You can adjust the touch of the keyboard. 18 tones, simulations. Looks like you can record MIDI into it. That was the one thing, good thing about having my one of my Casio keyboards, which was the Privia 575R. I could actually record into it and then export it to my DAW. I don't use it anymore because I upgraded the keyboard and the software and the computers. Still have it though. It's stored away. Audio recording, 25-minute long songs, 99 songs. The headphones, so you got two of them. Bluetooth, really? You do get a damper pedal, which is good. Some software for your iOS and your iPad or your Android. You get a power supply, and you use 6 AA batteries. That makes it, and it weighs 24 pounds. That's what I was looking for. How much weight does it have? Casio, a lot of people would always laugh if you had a Casio keyboard. Hey, Brother Gilliam. Hey, thank you so much. Please, thank you for remembering and for your contribution. Always looking to help musicians everywhere. So you don't go to sleep on the Casio world. Again, this is the Privia S1100. I've got the Privia 600, and it's still for me. If I want to go out somewhere and have to play in an outdoor setting, I would not hesitate to take that keyboard with me because it's got built-in beats. I get great AP sounds, great grand piano sounds, and I can adjust the tones in them to give you, and it has an organ sound in it also, along with strings. And it just about anything you would need to do a live setting somewhere. The strings are not layered, if I remember right. They don't. Oh, yes, they do layer them. You press two buttons, and you can layer them both, the piano and the strings together. It's been a while since I pulled that keyboard out. In fact, I do have my first set of YouTube videos were done with that keyboard, and I had a ball doing it also. So it's 88 keys again. They are weighted, which is great. Great polyphony. You've got effects, sounds. Let's see, two outputs, Bluetooth. That Bluetooth thing I gotta look into because I can't do that on my keyboard. That's an older one. Let's see. Okay, 24 pounds. I think we did go through that. And of course, you always want to read customer reviews. You want to know how other people who have made that purchase are have any comments or concerns. So, and for $699, $700 plus the accessories. If you don't have a piano bench, you need to get one and get one that's actually comfortable, not just a chair or a a casual chair, but one that's actually going to hold you correctly so that you can sit correctly. So again, don't sleep on Casio. I think what Korg is the other brands that are out there. There's Kawai. There are maybe 10 manufacturers out there. And this is the Casio lineup of their keyboards. If you wanted to have it for the home, you can actually, and I actually did that one time. I built the cabinet that you can just with tools, and you can build an actual cabinet and just sit the keyboard right into it, and so you can make it look like a home piano. Let's see if this is that same type. Yeah, that's just a cabinet that you build and you sit the keyboard right into it. That's a little bit more extensive one than the one I had. I want to see if they show it just the cabinet by itself. We're not going to listen to another video. And again, for the newbie musician who is moving up musically, I know sometimes you can go to the church. When I was younger, they didn't want you playing on the piano in the church. Get off that piano. And if you if you're younger and you still live at home with your parents, it's a good investment for them to maybe go the route of a Casio keyboard, because if you have more children or more siblings, I should say, they could also be learning on it. I know in my household we had a spin it piano, so everybody, when time allowed, had their turn to sit and practice on it. It wasn't until later on that, because my father was a Hammond organ repairman, he got a Lowry organ, one of the first ones, which is the ones that would actually play along with you. And I have a picture of me on that organ. Let me see if I can. Let me change my scene here. I'm gonna see if I can pull up that picture of me on that Lowry organ. Do do do. I know where I have it stored. I just gotta go and snatch it off my site. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Now the sneeze is gone. Just to give you a picture of what the the path. Ah, here it is. Now you should be able to see this, and don't laugh. This is me probably at, I'm gonna say, 13 years old. That's me on. That's my sister in the background, but that is me at 13 years old on a Lowry organ. As you can see, both hands I'm playing with and foot pedals, and you see some sheet music up there. So at 13, I still knew how to use right hand melody and chords, left hand chords, and because it was a Lowry organ, there was no real bass notes, but the foot pedals were my avenue to playing bass notes. And I made it try to sound like a Hammond organ. Those were the days, my friends. We're glad they ended. So, enough about me. Back into looking for the upgrade for our newbie musicians. So, there's a lot of prices. I think this is where we at. This is, yeah, still in Sweetwater. MIDI controllers. I think we're looking at Casio. How do I get off the Casio page? Let's see the third page over before we go to another brand of another brand, because there are a lot of musicians who are looking to upgrade where they currently are musically, and they may never consider other brands that can also give you that same sound. Everybody wants to have the Nord and the actual the motif sound. There is the other company, Kawai, again an expensive $2,000, $2,399 upgrade. But if you're a newbie, do you need to go into debt just so that you can have the best sound out there? You don't. You want to grow into that sound. Let's see what else we got. All this is more or less getting into the production mode. Yeah, this is all production now. Nothing I would recommend for home piano use. So let's leave this one. Let's go to this site, and this is Guitar Center and the Yamaha keyboards. We talked about Casio. Yamaha is that Casio upgrade. for both price and for style. I had the Yamaha WK 1000. I believe that was the version of Yamaha that I had, and that was again 61. Wait, 61 or 88? Gotta remember now. I believe it was 88 keys. That was the first one that actually you could put a cassette in the back and record your MIDI files, and then if you wanted to share the MIDI file with somebody, you can record it on on not a cassette, but a diskette. Wow, diskette days. So as you see, this is a big upgrade from from that. Well, I actually gave that one away to a church that didn't have a musician, and I gave them some diskettes that they can use to play music in their church because I had upgraded from there to a different keyboard. But the Yamaha keyboards are comparable to the Casio sound. Casio is basically chasing Yamaha. Yamaha is that company that also makes the motif and the what is the other one? The MOX. In fact, I do have a Yamaha MOX 06. I think that's the other keyboard that I got from Sweetwater. I forgot about that one. That one is up on a shelf behind me. That's when I really wanted to get comfortable carrying a keyboard that weighed only 15 pounds and have the same sound as my Yamaha S70. So when you see the pricing of the keyboards in this genre of music, this is, I think, when you're ready to expand beyond beyond a natural newbie musician, and you want your sound to now be able to be comparable to what you hear studio musicians play. I keep my sound traditional, church, piano, very little strings. Very rare have you heard me layered the sounds on my keyboard because I'm trying to give a clean instruction as to what the keyboard sounds can be versus sounding like three musicians when I'm just one. So these keyboards are more of the semi-professional to professional level. Anytime you get above $1,500, then you're in the range of you're actually doing gigs. And when you go out, you want to go out with the best. Here's a an arranger keyboard, and this is not. I'm just going to show this one because it's there. The Yamaha Arranger that is going for almost $6,000. This is what the professionals would have. And that is not me. I am not the professional. But if I were, I'd be looking at this as if I was doing shows, maybe on a cruise ship or in a bistro that has live music, I'd be looking at something like this. Just for all the different sound effects that it has built into it. The buttons. I'm sure you've got rhythm in here. And it looks like we've got there's a USB connection there, so I can hook up a computer to this and actually run a DAW software. Looks to be 88 keys. Yes, it is 88 keys. Look at all these touch settings, memory settings, start and stop, which means you can run a DAW, a computer, digital audio workstation, transpose button. I hate that tempo button. So, which means we have built-in rhythm. I wonder if there is, and it should be a demo. Yep, there's the demo. So let's listen to what this sounds like. So, which means we have built-in rhythm. I wonder if there is, and it should be a demo. Yep, there's the demo. So let's listen to what this sounds like. So, which means we have built-in rhythm. I wonder if there is, and it should looks like there's not going to be a demo. 1 2 1 2 3. Yeah, we're still good. What a shame. I'd like to hear what they put into this for that kind of money. But as always, there's the description. Oh, this one is 76 keys, not 88. Touchscreens, a song sequencer, so that you can record music into it to play back with. It's not weighted though, so yeah, it's more performance orientated and not really not performance, but studio rated. It doesn't have. It's got synth action keys, which are a lot lighter. You don't get that pushback that you would with weighted keys. And weighs 28 pounds. Yeah, weighted keys. I said they're not anything less than 33 pounds. If you know you're not dealing with weighted keys, I'm sure the keys must feel comfortable. But I like that weight, that feel of an actual piano. So as the musician grows in their chosen path and their chosen ministry, music, the instrument you play on, is very important. Of course, that's going to make the journey even more fruitful for you. Yamaha does have different ranges of keyboards. Again, I don't like the mini keyboards. You do that if you're doing like beat production. You don't need 88 keys when you're doing beat production. There's really not a lot of chords that you will find in a lot of these songs. They're just placed in different genres, different tones, I should say. So you don't need 88 keys to do that. Sometimes 32 or 25 is enough. And you know my feelings about playing on keyboards that have light keys that are not weighted. If you're going to learn to play piano, you should be on a keyboard that has close to a piano feel and the same height that a piano would be on, so that you're not straining your back or hurting your arms by being in an uncomfortable position, especially when you're practicing. So we're just looking at all these pricings that are here. As I say, when you get above a certain range, you're looking at professional. And should you look to go to a professional level, if that is your desire? But you need to know that the path there will require investment. And if you can get your family to invest in you, great. If you're playing for a church and you're going to be a solid musician for them, get them to invest in you. Portable pianos, digital pianos, home pianos, I would say. Let me look at. Let me look at portable. '61 keys. Okay, nothing 88. 76 keys. I prefer 76 to 61 any day. Pricing does change. But now from a practice standpoint, I wouldn't argue if price point is a determining factor to you getting better, then you can upgrade with a less than, let's say, $1,000 keyboard. You can still progress. musically, and then when you, as I say, get your money up, upgrade. Let's see what's on the second page here. These are the portable keyboards, which means you can practice at home and then take it to church with you if they don't have one in your particular area. These are used, and I'm not a fan of used keyboards. I believe you should get new so that if something happens, you've got a full warranty on it. All right, so I wanted to look at the Nord Stage 4. That is the flagship of pianos that I've been paying attention to. Musicians are shooting videos playing on the Nord Stage 488. My brother has actually played on the Nord Stage piano, and he told me it was like playing with heaven. I've never had a Nord Stage piano. I've never played on one. But he says that it is tremendous. He didn't have this. He played on the Nord Stage 3. But just looking at all those dials and all those knobs, and looks like you get a Hammond organ emulation with keyboards, which drawbars, which is what I would like. You can assign different zones to have different sounds. Again, this is when you reach that stage that says, I'm past novice, I'm past beginner, I'm past intermediate, I am now professional. And at $5,699, that's a professional price. Now, do you need all of it? Let's look at the video and let's see what Nord is all about.
Hi, Chris Martirano here at American Music and Sound, specifically at the Nord exhibit with my good friend Dave from Craft Music, home of the bundles, showing the Nord Stage 4. The Nord Stage 4, on the surface, reading the specifications, you don't see that big an improvement over the Nord Stage 3. I'm going to assume that you know a lot about the Nord Stage 3 and pick up from there. First off, all new panel layout. There's no more A and B panel, which used to confuse quite a lot of people. So now you have two on-off switches for piano 1 and 2, organ 1 and 2. The synth section now has 3 different synths that you can use at the same time. And each one of them can, of course, play back samples or play back synthesizer, waveforms. So it's like getting 3 complete synthesizers. Here's the biggest change. Every single part now can be routed through all the effects independently. It used to be that if you used, for example, on piano, you used chorus, then on that panel setting, chorus was no longer available to the synthesizer or to the organ section. Now each individual part can have their whole effects change, which is huge. That makes a huge difference. They've also increased the power of the arpeggiators, so now they're programmable, much like they were in the Nord A1. So without further ado, I made an orchestral program. Most people don't think of Nord as an orchestral instrument. They think pianos, electric pianos, clavs, things of that nature. So I'll just play a little bit of this and show you what's going on. This special button called Layer Scene 2 is also very cool. It allows us to drop out things that are going on and kind of have a different panel configuration. So here we go.
So as you can hear, there is a uh, reason why the Nord family of instruments has that price tag attached to it. It is for the professional musician. Now, the Yamaha keyboard that I have can also um, simulate, not emulate, but simulate some of that sound. I think I've demonstrated some of those sounds in the past on one of my lives. But when you're ready to go to this level, you're ready. You are beyond me. There's nothing more I can show you when you're ready to go to this level. That is, it is truly for the professional musician. Now, yes, some musicians who, I don't want to classify anybody's designation in their skill set, but I'm certain a lot of what the gentleman was talking about, they're not investigating on the when they got their Nord. They are using it for piano, organ, clavichord, vibes, EP sounds, and doing an excellent job with it. Because I listen to a lot of the videos that are put out by those musicians. But just to know that music is at a stage where you can, okay, that's just advertising, where you can mimic the sounds of so many other instruments. Where do you go? How do you decide? Well, again, you decide within yourself when to start looking at your next level, when you're going to leave the newbie phase of music based upon your education, your dedication, and your application, what gets you to looking to say, I want to be able to get to the level of playing a Nord stage 4, it may be a stage 6 when you're ready for that stage, or the Yamaha, or even the Casio. Casio also has some tremendous sounding boards too. They're all competing with each other in different price points. Or you just want to play for your church, and that's where I come in. That's where I give you the sound that you can create from within yourself for the church sound. And there's nothing wrong with that. As I say, I did my tenure. That's the way of putting it. My 46 years, 4 decades, almost 4.5 decades, giving the big band, orchestral, spiritual, I'm just calling all the different type styles, classical sound to support the church ministry. Now it's a lot different. They are in a realm of layered keyboard sounds, heavy strings, guitar infused chording for the generation of music that is here today. If I had to upgrade a particular keyboard to be able to duplicate that sound from an instructional standpoint, I would use the keyboards that I already have and maybe using MIDI, layer two of those together and sample the sounds from one keyboard or two keyboards to create one, just to be able to cover that type of sound. But you need to be aware that musically, your growth will be tied to the instrument that you actually play. Now, feel free to go to YouTube because that's what I have done. Um, let's bring up the one. I'm not going to play too much from his channel. I've played some from the manufacturer's channel. There is a YouTuber, because I always again go to YouTube for information, that actually put out an entire video production of what are the best keyboards for beginners. And this gentleman, let's see, let's go back to this page. That is this gentleman right here, Jeremy C. He has a tremendous video he put out on best beginner keyboards for 2023. So he's being he's being 2023 friendly with this one, where he covers all the different tracks. Let me subscribe to him and let me leave a comment because I did read it. Wonderful presentation. Recommending your page. This is real time. Spell the word recommending correctly. You were a good student in school. Your channel to all my new gospel. I type fast. Musicians. New subscriber. So yes, I do subscribe to those people's channels that I get information from. New subscriber. There we go. So I recommend his page. Jeremy C. I believe you should be able to see that. I'm just going to scrub through some of what he does. That's I want to catch his face. Okay, come on, catch your face, sir. All right, that's him right there. Without playing his channel, because I realize if YouTube hears it on my stream, they will come after me. So many of the keyboards that I may have been talking about, I believe that's a Casio he's talking about there. Yes, Casio. You can actually see him demonstrating some of those keyboards real time in his video. Come on, I hate these ads. I'm not letting it play. At least I don't think I'm letting it play. Let's turn the volume down. And he'll walk you through which keyboards that he has found that can be comparable to beginner musicians. I don't have the funds to be able to put out this kind of production, but it's nice to know that on YouTube there are people who will do that for you. And as I say, it's a way for me to also to hear and to see if I'm interested in doing an upgrade, what are the comments and what are the pluses and the minuses that someone else has found. So that's a page. Again, I'm not going to air his page because I will get a notification from YouTube. Just to let you know, use every resource that you have available to you in your determinations when you're ready to make that next move. As I say, you should not move until your money's ready. Don't put yourself in a credit pinch to where you're paying for it over a period of 3 or 4 years. That's like buying the keyboard twice or 1.5 times. But look at where financially makes sense for you. I've even recommended that musicians should become creative and have their own productions where someone will actually donate to them. If you can make it used to be a cassette back in my day, but if you could make MP3 files and record it or record yourself playing or start a YouTube channel and get enough viewers watching you on your journey in music, support you with their views. After a certain amount of views, the YouTube channel will allow you to monetize your page, and then advertisers will come to you because you have viewers watching you and your journey. Wish I'd had YouTube back when I was 13 years old on that Lowry piano. But, I'm here now doing this that I love to do, sharing music, and also now sharing the progressions you as a new musician should look at doing to further your craft. I'm going to look to see who's visiting with us so I can click away thank you for your comments, and hopefully I will share something with you that will encourage you in your ministry, working with others. see who else joined us. Anthony Hall, of course, Buddy. Brother Gilliam, thank you again for your generous donation for my birthday. And I'm not sure who else is left here, but this will stay up on my page. If you have any questions, if you like this type of a presentation, I'm going to be doing software in the future when I upgrade my system. Probably near the middle of this year, I will be joining the ranks of those who are in the Keyscape area or Piano Tech. All those VST softwares. I now have a computer which can host the sizes of those programs, and I also will start doing reviews on software to let you see what is the best virtual software that you may want to invest in and play it through a not so top tech piano, but you'll get the top tech sound. Thanks for watching. It's always a good thing when I have people come and want to listen to what I've got to say. Those who will be watching the restream, please leave your comments. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I try to give the best that I possibly can, and always looking to get better. Sam Tobit, Sound of Joy Music Services. Enjoy your day. I may be posting another video, an R&B 60-second clip. As I say, I haven't got that out of my head yet, but I am posting clips about the R&B sound. I visit other R&B channels just to hear what they're playing, and I go, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that. 3 chords, 4 chords. Let me put together my best 3 or 4 chord variation to see whether or not people can hear or I can resonate with people in that particular genre. Because believe it or not, gospel music is, if not already in that direction, beginning to morph over to that type of sound. And I want you to be prepared for it. Take care. Be blessed, everyone. We're going to take you out with my version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Be blessed. In that particular genre. Because believe it or not, gospel music is, if not already in that direction, beginning to morph over to that type of sound. And I want you to be prepared for it. Take care. Be blessed, everyone. We're going to take you out with my version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Be blessed. In that particular genre. Because believe it or not, gospel music is, if not already in that direction, beginning to morph over to that type of sound. And I want you to be prepared for it. Take care. Be blessed, everyone. We're going to take you out with my version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Be blessed. In that particular genre. Because believe it or not, gospel music is, if not already in that direction, beginning to morph over to that type of sound. And I want you to be prepared for it. Take care. Be blessed, everyone. We're going to take you out with my version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Be blessed. In that particular genre. Because believe it or not, gospel music is, if not already in that direction, beginning to morph over to that type of sound. And I want you to be prepared for it. Take care. Be blessed, everyone. We're going to take you out with my version of What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Be blessed.